Morning folks, Jesse here with Stovall Toyota. Welcome to part 2 of our 2-part series on the all-new 2019 Corolla hatchback. As promised, we're going to do a little ride and drive today. We're going to take it out on the highway, go through some city driving, mostly so you can see how the vehicle handles and get a sense of how quiet for a smaller size hatchback sedan type vehicle it actually is. Let's go for a drive. So we're going to start this drive with a little city driving. We're going to go through a residential neighborhood with some roundabouts, some stop signs. First thing I want to showcase, I mean, it's not a super windy day. I was hoping to film this video where it was actually quite stormy, just so you could get a sense as to how quiet and how much the vehicle does eliminate the road noise and, you know, the noise inside the vehicle. The other thing I want to showcase and why I'm starting here is the addition in the Corolla lineup, or the Corolla hatchback lineup, of the new CVT transmission with its proprietary and first of its kind launch gear. The point of it is to give a little extra power, a little extra oomph from taking off from a complete stop. That was a fairly common complaint with CVT transmissions across the marketplace. Now, one of the beautiful parts about a CVT is how easy it mimics shifting. It's very transparent. There's no hard shift points. It's very smooth. It's very, you know, just get up and go. It also means you do get better gas mileage, is why we've seen a lot of the CVTs come into this market segment in these you know, mid-sized sedans and hatchbacks and smaller sedans and hatchbacks. Now, as promised, I'm going to get into a little bit of the numbers as to what actually is the difference between this and its predecessor, the Corolla IM, and what would differentiate this between a 19 Corolla sedan, because they are still two different cars. We're hoping that we will see the sedan go to this platform, the new TNGA Toyota platform with the different motor and transmission. We're hoping to see that sometime within the next year or two. The difference between this car and the IM is it's going to have, I mean, aside from the new updated transmission, mimicking the 10 speeds with the launch gear, it's going to be a lower stanced vehicle. Now, what that means is it's going to give you a better planted feel on the road. It's not going to shake as much as you pass semi-trucks, etc., etc. It is still easy to get in and out of. Now, it is a car. You have to drop down into it a little bit, but me being 6'3", it's not terrible to get in and out of once I have the seating position adjusted to me personally. It is the first time we're seeing the 2-liter Toyota motor in a D4S type situation. The D4S motor basically is the type of injection that we see, so fuel injection. When does it use port injection versus direct injection, etc., etc., is the first time we've seen it with the transmission. So that's what I mean, long story short. This motor also has a slightly different variable valve timing to it, and it's part of the reason we see an increase in 30 some odd horsepower, and I think it's 25 foot-pounds of torque, is in part from this variable valve timing. Now, we have the VVTi, sorry, as we saw in the Corolla IM and then the LE Eco. They've actually added a VVTi-E, which my understanding of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, is that they've gone away from the fuel pressure controlling the valve timing, and it's actually now an electronic motor, which allows the valve timing to be a little bit more precise, and it just controls it a little bit better to make sure that the fuel mixture and the air intake and all that, technical aspects of the motor are looked after a little bit more precisely, which equates to a more fuel efficient vehicle a cleaner emissions vehicle, and then of course a little bit more power for you, the driver, which is nice. You know, it's nice to have a small car that's you know, you can fit people in the back, you can go away for a weekend with your friends or family and still have room for all your gear. It's still fun to drive, and that's the whole point of doing the ride and drive on this vehicle, is to hopefully showcase that it is a fun, sort of sportier driving vehicle that still gets you really good gas mileage and still has plenty of space. Now we're gonna go across Bethesda side road here. I'm not gonna speed this section up, so it's probably gonna be a little boring, but this is a bumpy, you know, slightly more unmaintained road. As I stutter through that, this will really kind of give you a sense as to, you know, cruising down a country road at 70, 80 kilometers an hour on the cruise, you know, just to kind of give you a sense as to how quiet this vehicle really is and how comfortable it is. So far, very little road noise, and I don't feel it at all, which is really nice. It's still very planted, still very responsive. You know, the steering wheel is snappy. It's got enough power. It's by no means a sports car, but for what it is, it has plenty of power and plenty of get up and go. And very comfortable. You know, you feel just enough of the road to know what's going on beneath you, but it's still very, very comfortable. This, of course, is going to be slightly subjective. I'm coming out of, I drive a Tundra day to day, so I'm coming out of a full-size truck. It's going to be different for me, but considering the seats are great, plenty of leg room for me. I'm mostly all legs at my height. I really have no complaints about this vehicle at all. Nice added features. Aside from the mechanical, we have the Apple CarPlay, as I mentioned in my previous video. Very nice feature for me being an Apple user. For the Android users out there, we still have the Toyota Intune system, and actually we just saw an update, a very, very nice update in that Intune system. The nice thing with a lot of Toyota's lineup, and the Corolla hatchback's no different, is the safety features at the base level in the features does not differ from the high-end one. Essentially, as you go up in features and of course price, you're not sacrificing on safety. Toyota has made that as a stand for the past couple of years, and it is really nice. So you're not sacrificing. Price doesn't determine safety. It just determines, do you want a sunroof? Do you want leather? Do you want the extra features of the higher end models? That's the whole point of the new Toyota platform, is to be more fun to drive, but not sacrifice on safety and the environment. So it is a cleaner manufacturing process, and a more efficient manufacturing process. It's safer for us, the drivers. It offers more occupancy protection. We expect to see this a top-rated vehicle from IIHF and all the safety standard regulatory committees. And they come very well equipped, and they're no more expensive. Just because it's a brand new car doesn't mean they've jacked up the price. They've kept it in line. They've offered more feature packages than the Corolla IM came. So overall, and as this video comes to a conclusion, personally I'm very impressed. I encourage anybody who's considering looking at a vehicle in this market, this segment of the market, to really check out the Corolla Hatch. We've seen some really, really nice improvements on the interest rate side, which of course is always very key for purchasing a vehicle. It always comes down to price. So they are very well competitively priced in the market, and it drives very nicely, which it's a win-win really for us. They come in some really great colors. Of course, your standard white, black, silver. There is a really nice orange. There's a really interesting blue, which I know isn't for everyone, but the people who do kind of want to stand out with this new vehicle, the blue really, really will stand out. It comes in 2 transmission packages. I've touched on the CVT, which is what we drove today. It does come in a manual option. Feature-wise, the manual and the automatic, except for the top-end model, come basically the same. again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing your comments and feedback on this video.